Welcome to the Wattsburg Area School District, where we are student-centered and future-focused for a world-class education. I will now call to order the regular board meeting for today, Monday, November 17th, 2025. Would you please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. May I have a roll call, please?
Mr. Blazer.
Present.
Mr. Brummagem.
Present.
Mrs. Burlingham.
Here.
Mrs. Hetherington.
Here.
Mrs. Lee.
Here.
Mr. Morvay.
Here.
Dr. Pushchek.
Here.
Dr. Williams.
Here.
Mr. Young.
Present. Thank you, Mrs. Bending. I will now entertain a motion to approve the agenda as presented or amended.
Nicole, so moved.
Pushchek, second. Any questions? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. I will now entertain a motion to approve the minutes from the regular board meeting on October 20th, 2025.
Nicole, second.
Any questions, comments, corrections? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. I'll now entertain a motion to approve minutes from the work session last week, November 10th, 2025.
So moved. Pushchek. Second. Blazer.
Any questions, comments? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Thank you. We'll now turn to Dr. Berlin for school reports.
Thank you, Mr. President. We do not have a school report this evening.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Berlin. It's now time for guest and citizen comments. Do we have anyone signed up to speak this evening? All right. Thank you. We'll now turn back to Dr. Ken Berlin for superintendent's report.
I want to, the only thing I want to do right now is recognize our board members that are leaving us. So I have a little something for them. So you have to wait to open these, so. This is for you, Brittany. Thank you for your service. This is for you, Nicole.
Thank you.
Thank you for your service. And we have one for you, Mrs. Hetherington, ordered when we did not know there might be a write in the foot. Now I'm going to have to give everybody. All right, so go ahead and open those if you would like. All right, so that's
Very fancy.
a mountain there because
very
you've
cool.
helped us climb the mountain of success. Appreciate your
that.
help and things, so thank you very much.
Yeah. Thank you.
That's all I have this evening. You'll just have two.
Yeah.
Maybe the kids can play with that when you put it in the playbook.
All right. Next on the agenda, the chair will recognize Mrs. Vicki Bending for the business administrator's report.
Thank you, Mr. President. For tonight, the treasurer's reports as presented last week and the year-to-date budget versus actual report. So we have completed 33% of the fiscal year with 8 months remaining. We are at 27.33 year-to-date total budgeted expenditures and 39.85% of year-to-date total budgeted revenues, and a $20,047,562.17 in the net budget remaining. I did want to mention that with the state budget being passed, money from the state is starting to flow, and between now and the 24th of November, we are scheduled to get just over $2 million from the state. So that is all good news. Again, the cafeteria profit and loss report, there was a loss for the month of October of $2,853.26, which brings our year-to-date loss to $9,861.28. And then the student activities balance was given at last meeting. Moving on to the bill lists. Checks already written prior to the work session as presented last meeting, and then the checks written between the work session and tonight's board meeting for general fund, $12,209.08. And then the bill list for your approval tonight, general fund, $581,109.48. Capital projects, $37,075, and the cafeteria, $60,762.43. That is all I have for this evening.
Thank you, Mrs. Bendig. I'll now entertain a motion to approve the business reports, payments, and the invoices as presented.
So moved, Blazer.
Nicole, second.
Any questions or comments, concerns from Mrs. Bendig?
I just have a question about the state budget passing. So I guess I wanted to verify the accuracy. The newspaper, I think, said that we're getting about 300,000 more than last year, but I think from Dr. Berlin's weekly report, kind of expected.
Everything that we're getting was already budgeted for.
Is it an increase over what we gave?
Within like $20,000.
Is it an increase over what they gave us this year? Or I guess last year?
It is an increase over last year, but I had already accounted for their preliminary projections, so we're not really getting a windfall.
And then I guess that was maybe answering the other question I had, which is it, if it's not really an addition, I guess maybe this doesn't matter, but I was wondering if it was in basic education funding versus like for programs, like are they giving us other things we have to do with extra money that washes out versus?
We're getting more in basic ed funding than I thought, but we're getting less than in special ed. So it's all how the formula works out,
Yeah,
right? Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
Any other questions?
Yeah, if you don't mind, and
Absolutely.
if I steer this to the wrong person, but Dr. Berlin, I know you're like the expert on some of these state budgets. I feel like you spend a lot of time on it, but could you guys explain a little bit about the cyber school passing? I know that they had reduced it down to a flat rate of 8, but that's not necessarily for every cyber kid. Am I confused on that, or if you could help walk through that with
There
me?
was a last-minute change on that, Dr. Williams. It was to be 8,000, an $8,000 cap, but the loss to the cyber schools was more than, I guess, some of the legislators could take. So to move the deal forward, they had to compromise, and that compromise was done in the form of the budget form, I should say, that we and every other school district fill out every year. And that's based, so our tuition that we pay for cyber students is based off of a calculation that's done, and it takes into account every expense that we have. And they went back to that particular device rather than doing the flat 8,000 and said, well, can we do some more deductions off of the way we do it, the tuition calculation now. So that's what they did. There's a little more, I think, for buildings and grounds. There's a deduction. There's a deduction for the tuition of cyber students, so you're not getting penalized twice for them leaving, but that is something that Vicki had taken advantage. We had been putting that money into fund balance, which was perfectly acceptable, and then just pulling that out when we needed to pay those bills. So we already realized that savings. And then it seemed like there was one other thing, but you get the lesser of two deductions. It does sound like the state tax. It really does. You get the lesser of this or that, and so there is like a standard type deduction.
Right, so the way you calculate regular cyber tuition for a regular ed student, you can take into consideration all these deductions. And then they took the special ed costs and did something to that, and then that's how they calculated the special ed tuition. So you can do the calculation with the deductions and see what the special ed tuition comes out to, Or you can take your regular ed and multiply it by 1.89. And so whichever one of those is less, you can use. So it's,
We didn't run the numbers, but I'd be willing to bet it's probably pretty close to.
the state has not yet released the PDE 363 form that we will need to complete. Now, we've already done it for 25, 26, so I'm guessing now that they've passed their budget, they're going to be releasing this new form, and we will redo our PDE 363 form based on the new rules, which means the tuition will change. But now the cyber charters have already billed us for August, September, October, November. And then there'll be this whole reconciliation process where, well, we charged you 15,000, but now it's 16,500. And so, like, at the end of the, it's probably going to be a little tricky, but
Appreciate it, thank you.
it's good fun.
The cap would have been easier. All
I
right.
only ask because, we're 1.2 million or something to that, and you look down at the number and it's like, it's just not fun when you look down at that number, that's all.
Nope. All right, any others? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Thank you. We have one under legal advisement this evening. These are for parcels that are going to be removed from the assessment records as no value or non-existent. So I will entertain a motion from someone to approve the recommendation from the Erie County Tax Claim Bureau for the removal of back taxes for the years noted and all future taxes on the parcel numbers attached.
So moved, Blazer.
Second, Heatherington.
Any other questions, comments, or concerns on this one? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Thank you. The chair will now recognize Dr. Andy Pushjack for finance.
Thank you, Mr. President. Two items under finance this evening without objection. I would like to move them together. The first one are the budgetary transfers, the standard budgetary transfers from budget to actual as attached. And then we have two additional transfers identified on the addendum. So those two items, so moved.
Nicole, second.
Any questions on those items? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Thank you, Dr. Pushjack.
Thank you, Mr. President.
The chair will now recognize Mr. Jeremy Blazer for Buildings and Grounds.
Thank you, Mr. President. There's one item under Building and Grounds this evening, two facility use requests. There's a motion to approve the facility use requests as outlined. District 10 utilizing our football field earlier for the soccer playoff game on October 30th, estimated cost of $400, and Miss Lucy's Dancing School utilizing our senior high auditorium for dance recital June 12th and 13th, 2026, estimated cost of $1,825.30. So moved.
Nicole, second.
Any questions on those two? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Blazer. Chair will now recognize Ms. Nicole Lee for personnel.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have 5 items for tonight, and without objection, I would like to move all in one motion. They include A, resignations as listed, as well as our addendum, Dr. Ken Berlin for purposes of retirement effective July 1st. B, appointments as listed. C, ESS substitute list additions as listed. D, conference requests as listed. And E, service substitute list additions as listed. So moved.
Second, Burlingham.
Any comments on these items? Questions? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion's carried. Thank you very much, Mrs. Lee. Chair will now recognize Mrs. Brittany Burlingham for policy.
Thank you, Mr. President. I currently have one item underneath policy at this time, which is the second reading of policies, to approve the second reading and review of policies as outlined and attached below. So moved.
Morvay, second.
Any questions on the reading of policies or those 11 policies outlined? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Thank you, Ms. Burlingham. Chair will now recognize Mr. Stephen Morvay for curriculum.
Mr. President, I have two items for the agenda this evening. The first one is the approve the school calendar for 26 through 27, including the Act 80 days as per the attachment. And the second item that if I would move as a total slate would be under the addendum, which is the Robert Morris University enrollment agreement, and that is to approve the agreement between Robert Morris University, Wattsburg Area School District for the 2025-26 as attached, or should that be 26 through 27? It is current? Should be read 26-27. Do I need to make a motion to amend that, a motion, as noted? So I approve the motion to make, or excuse me, to approve the agreement between Robert Morris University and Wattsburg Area School District for the high school for the 26-27 school year as attached. And I believe the attachment is the correct dates. I just want to look here real quick. I think that is true. Yes, that is correct.
Second, Blazer?
Any questions, comments, concerns on these two? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Morvay.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Chair will now recognize Dr. Jesse Williams for technology.
Yes, Mr. President, I have nothing for tonight's meeting.
Thank you, Dr. Williams. Chair now recognizes Mr. Greg Brummagem for transportation.
Mr. President, I have two items for tonight. Since the second one is contractual, I'd like to do them separately. First, item A, to approve the transportation request and ratification of field trips since last meeting as attached. So moved.
Nicole, second.
Any questions on that one? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
Mr. President, the second item for tonight is the Durham renewal contract for our busing, to approve the transportation contract renewal with the Durham School Services as attached. So moved.
Nicole, second.
Any questions on this one?
Weren't we tabling this?
Mr. President,
Yes, Mr. Brummagem.
I would like to ask the board to table this one so that more research can be completed.
Okay, excellent, Mr. Brummagem. Just to clarify, we are currently pending full legal review on this transportation contract. This process has moved much more quickly than we initially anticipated, and as such, we're a little behind on getting finished with the review from legal counsel. So in tabling this motion, would you propose this be tabled for the January regular board meeting, Mr. Brummagem?
Correct.
Thank you, Mr. Brummagem. So in order to table this motion, we will need to call for a vote, and we will need a 2/3 majority in order to table it.
Do we need
So
a-
all in favor, please.
Do we need a second on the motion or
Oh,
no? I don't know.
Motion to table, you can go ahead and second that motion.
Okay,
to
I'll do
table.
that. Just,
Thank you, sir.
you're welcome.
All right, any other questions, comments, or concerns on tabling the motion? Hearing none, all in favor of tabling the motion for the Durham renewal contract, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries to table. That will be re-entered for entry onto our regular board meeting for January, so we will see it come up again for our work session in January of 2026. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Brummagem. Chair will now recognize Ms. Leah Hetherington for athletic and extracurricular.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have 5 items for today, and without objection, I would like to move them all at the same time. The first one being A, volunteer list additions as listed on the agenda. B, athletic resignations as listed on the agenda. C, athletic appointments as listed. D, extracurricular resignations as listed. And E, extracurricular appointments as listed. So moved.
Nicole, second.
Any questions, comments, or concerns on the 5 items presented by Ms. Hetherington? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. And those 5 motions carry. Thank you, Ms. Hetherington. We have no items under miscellaneous on the agenda for this evening, so the chair will now recognize Mr. Stephen Morvay for the Erie County Technical School Joint Operating Committee report.
Mr. President, this is the report of the committee that we held in October on the 23rd. A few things I always like to point out and highlight for our district here is that we had some students of the month that were recognized by the tech school, and those include Jack Courteau. I hope I'm saying that right, Courtaeau. He's in facility maintenance. Nathan Gregory is in auto tech, and Paul Spires is in metal fabrication, and those are part of their B Attitude recognition program that the tech school has, so I wanted to highlight those students in our district for the good job that they're doing. In addition, a couple of the items that were coming up, or that has happened, they were doing ninth grade tours, and I know Wattsburg Area School District left, or did our tour back on Friday. So that's past tense, but it was something that was showing up. There is an open house yet that is still planned for the 20th, which is this Thursday. That's for the ninth grade open house as well, so that's coming up. And then there's also the priority enrollment. That is occurring on the 15th of December, so that will happen, I guess, after our next board meeting. So I wanted to highlight that, which I know our guidance counselors and whatnot are certainly interested students are giving them those dates to be part of that. And then a couple of other items that I just always like to give some statistics are within the tech school, there's 976 students enrolled out of an allocation of 1,144. And our district, we have 74 students going with our out of our 96 slots that are available to us. So still some slots available, still open spaces. So I know coming up, obviously for 10th graders next year, as well as anybody that's coming up for this second semester, I think there's opportunity there for tech school students to still partake in the programs. And then lastly, the majority of the board meeting, or the Joint Operating Committee, was discussing the solar system, how about that?
Pretty bad. Is that in the astrology lab?
Yeah, we have that too. That's coming up. That's maybe in 2028.
Miss Lee has
the solar
kid has a project for that solar system.
Yes,
if you
exactly
want.
right, the solar system. So however, so we did some, this was the second round of all of those discussions and whatnot, and basically there was kind of boiled down to the programs that I think I mentioned in the past, which was the ownership of the first solar field, and then the leasing of the other two solar fields with the power payment agreement coming back to them, as well as then a little bit of the upgrades that needed to be done in order to connect into the system. So that's basically what it boiled down to. We had some discussion about some of the contract language, and Attorney Kennedy is in she's our solicitor there as well. And so that was one of those things that was pending any review, but that legal review has gone through the process, and those contracts will be signed on the 20th of this month. So that's actually happening on Thursday. There will also be a little bit of a press conference and some, some discussion of that, media presence, et cetera. That's happening at 11 o'clock on Thursday. So if you see that happen to come across in the news, that's what's going down. There is an opportunity if anybody wanted to go to that. It's open. So it could be, viewed in person if that's something that you'd like to do. So those contracts, as they sign, if you recall kind of the timeline then going forward, there'll be some design work, there'll be some additional engineering, procurement materials, et cetera. Bottom line is ground won't be broken until probably April of '26, when that field will start to take some shape to it. And then the process will roll. I think it's essentially fully operational and online, I'll say, probably by the fall. I think we figured like a 6-month construction time and connection time period to move forward. But this front end is all going to be permitting, design, procurement, et cetera, all those things. And so the discussion at the Joint Operating Committee was, appreciative to all the various districts that all approved this and gave the green light to this. This allows us and the tech school to capture all of those credits and all of those rebates and whatnot that are expiring at the end of the year, of the calendar year, not the school year. So those are all things that are, are beneficial to the project, which helped basically make the project viable to move forward. So that's my report. And our next meeting, we have no meeting in November. So we do have a next meeting is in middle of December. So we'll be able to report. This will be after our board meeting in December, our reorganization meeting. So our next board meeting, or the Joint Operating Committee, is the 16th.
Okay.
At 8:30 in the morning. So I believe our board meeting is prior to that. And so My next report will be in January.
January. Thank you, Mr. Morvay. Any questions for Mr. Morvay? I have one.
Yes.
So, like expansion, and you may not know the answer to this, we did some expansion, like the cosmetology, so they had 2 lab spaces.
Yes.
In the workspace. Were they able to fill up most of that space with new students this year? Was there any mention? I'm
should have
just
had-
curious.
Yeah, the breakdown, I should have had the breakdown, but
Oh,
I
that's
believe it was fairly well full.
Fairly substantial.
Yeah, correct.
I figured as much, but,
Yeah.
when you add space, you definitely want to see it utilized,
Yeah.
right?
I did have a chart that had all of the programs in it, and I just didn't bring that
Oh,
with me.
that's fine.
But yeah.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Any others? All right, well, thank you, Mr. Morvay, for your report. And the chair will now recognize Dr. Andy Pushchak for the Northwest Tri-County Intermediate Unit Board report.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have nothing to report beyond the board report that was sent out to the board after our October meeting. And similar to the JOC, we will not meet in November, and we will have our next meeting on December 17th. And I will report to the board in January. And that's all I have, Mr. President.
Thank you, Dr. Pushchak. It's now time for board correspondence and dialogue. Does anyone have anything for the good of the order this evening? Ms. Hetherington?
I don't know if I was asleep last week on the agenda, but I am so sad to see Miss Koski leaving. Miss Iwanek. My girls loved her, so I wish her well.
Thank you.
Mr. President?
Yes, Dr. Pushchak.
I would just like to publicly thank Mrs. Burlingham and Mrs. Lee for their distinguished service on our board. They have been excellent board members. They came in with backgrounds that really contributed to the dialogue and the continuation of moving our district forward. Mrs. Lee in particular was appointed for a time and then was elected. She came in a little bit of interesting times, and she persevered and was an excellent board member. So thanks to Mrs. Burlingham, Mrs. Lee. Also, welcome back Mr. Morvay, who was reelected, and Mrs. Hetherington, pending certification of her write-ins. We really want you back, so I'm glad you made the choice to do that. And then we'll welcome Mr. Snippert, who's previously served on the board, and then Mrs. Will, who will be a new member. So I think our December meeting will be good. That's all I have, Mr. President. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Pushchak.
Mr.
Dr.
President,
Williams?
Yep, I would just like to, and kind of scanned over it, but I want to recognize Dr. Berlin. He put in his letter for intent of retired. So the board pitched some money together and got you a gift. Thank you for all the time that you spent here, so.
Here's my pocket knife,
Yeah.
you can.
Yeah, just expect this on your
Never
desk.
carry a pocket knife.
But I want to say, though, I feel like every time I come here, I learn something from you. So it's been an honor to have you on this, in this district. I learned quite a bit while I've been here for the last 4 years. So I appreciate it and wanted to recognize that.
Thank you very
did put in
much.
that letter. Thank you.
Yeah, and expanding that on that one, obviously he has some influence in the way the agenda gets laid out here and just sneaks himself in on an addendum under existing personnel items, but definitely not something that we are, glassing over from a governance perspective. And from a personal perspective, the fact that our district has been under your leadership for the amount of time that it has been, and with the type of fortitude that you've brought to the battles that we have in this district every day, is greatly appreciated. And I don't think we can thank you enough for that, because we all know that in our professions and in our environments that we give of ourselves, we give the time that we may otherwise have for family members, our own children, and we do that without pause, and that's what you have done for this district, so we thank you greatly for that. And for the public, this is now a task for this Board of Governance to help work through this transition and a selection process to move forward as a district and as a community, and we take that responsibility very seriously. So coming into the new year, that will be some action on the part of this board, and we are honored to have that challenge, and we will bring our best moving forward for our students and for our district.
I am sorry, did you mention that we had executive session before the board
Oh.
meeting?
My apologies.
That's why you're coming back.
Excellent notation, Mrs. Hetherington. Also, for the public, we did meet in executive session prior to this evening's board meeting to discuss a personnel issue. You can guess what it was based on the timing of this denotion. So, Mr. Brummagem.
Wanted to just bring it back to the school reports we've been having recently. We just had an elementary school teacher announce resignation today. The elementary school, we were told maybe more data was being released. Can we get a follow-up on school reports and specifically the elementary school on the agenda here in the near future so we can follow up on that? Seemed pretty important that we keep our finger on what's going on in our elementary school. Thank you.
Absolutely, we'll take it under direction. Any others?
Just one last thing. Sorry, and then Mrs. Burlingham.
Go.
My last night, thank you, everybody. I'm so happy I got to meet everybody, got to work here for the last 5 years all together as a group. But one last comment from me. I am a huge arts person, and I have to say I'm so excited we are doing Shrek this year for Seneca. I cannot wait to come see it, and unfortunately it's at the same time as Harbor Creek, so we'll have to try and find a way to come and see it, but at least for me, because I'm working with Harbor Creek at the moment, but
You
I'm
could bring
so
yourself over to
excited.
Wattsburg. you
I know, right? I have to convince Mr. Steve
O'Donnell.
O'Donnell, I was
Yeah.
going to say Morvay, convince Mr. O'Donnell that I need to be on his team, so.
You can play Shrek.
I could be Shrek.
Right?
Okay, okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Mrs. Burlingham?
Yeah, I also would like to echo the thank you. It's been a very joyous 4 years. I'm very appreciative of my time. I'm happy to continue to help serving a part of the Special Education Committee, so I'm going to try to continue to stay involved. But the other thing I wanted to point out, so I know, because I feel like this was newer, but last week, some of our high school students in the med science class got to participate in the Frontline through UPMC. They got to go on a field trip. My son participated in that, and I was so excited because he had a really good time, and he was so annoyed about needing to dress up and look like a professional, and he couldn't wear sweatpants and hoodie, and so he was very annoyed about that. But he said it was a great experience. I know that there was interviews with some of the students. He participated in that, and he said it was really cool. So I love that Wattsburg did that. I don't know how that comes together, but again, him being a sophomore, our kids are starting to realize they have to come up with, what am I doing with my life?
Yeah.
And so he, he's very interested in some sports medicine and thought that it was a pretty cool experience. So that was cool, and I'm glad that our school just participates and gives our kids those opportunities to learn and do some growth.
Is he
So-
inspired enough that you're going shopping for polos and slacks yet?
I don't know if he's going to be that inspired. I'm sure those clothes are in the back of the closet somewhere at this point, but, But anyway, thank you.
Any others for board correspondence and dialogue this evening? Hearing none, I will now entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved, push check.
Nicole, second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. We are adjourned. Thank you.